Hi everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie, and this week we are tackling die cuts. That's what all of these are. A few empty containers at the end, but the rest of these are full. Now, I like this and I don't like it. So let me just show you what I've got done. So basically up until here, so this section here, these are colored, or the color coded the dies, right? Die cuts. So actually not that one. This would be all my pink. And see what I've got? And guess what? I have to dig and look, and there's too much, and you know how I am, right? By now, I don't like to dig. So this is not really working for me. Okay. But then I have things like this, where I have parts of the collection, and I still have quite a few pieces left, and I'm not quite ready to throw them in the colored bins. Or at least I wasn't at the time when I created these. So I've got a bunch of those in here. And because there's fewer, it's not so bad to filter through them, right? So I also have some theme. So for instance, travel. Anything that I think might be travel related, I've stuck in here. So I think I'm going to try something a little bit different for me. I got this idea from RTS Scrapbooking, and she basically took all her dies and put them either in books or binders just by applying a little bit of adhesive on the back. And her thought process was, even if a bit of the paper tears when she removes them, you're going to use more tape on the back anyways, and you're never going to see it. So that's sort of the idea I'm going with. I'm going to try something first, and namely what I want to use is page protectors instead of actual paper. So I'm going to take just regular cheap copy paper, and we'll just try this here on camera to see how it works before I go down this route. So my thought process is that I will have the page protector. Okay, I'm going to take my ATG, and this is one I call story prompts, and this would be basically things that I don't think I would use on an everyday basis, but might use if I had a particular story to tell. So, for instance, if I wanted to talk about, I'm trying to think, maybe me learning to ride a bike when I was a kid, then I would use this. Now this is actually a sticker, so I'm thinking that I can use this for both my stickers as well as my die cuts. So that's an example there. I also have some chipboard that I've punched out. Again, I think that will work here as well. So let me just take one here, for instance. Let's take this one. This is a house, right? Good. Maybe talk about the first apartment I had. So if we add a little bit of adhesive on the back, and not tons, my thought is to then attach that to the page protector. It should stick, and we should be able to peel it off really easily. Now, the reason why I'm thinking page protector is, one, I have a ton of them, and two, I like this idea that it will come off fairly easily. I don't want to use page protectors to slide things in because I'm lazy. If I have to slide things in and take them out, it's never going to happen. So I think this is going to work. I think what I want to do is use it for all the bins that are colored or theme related, and anything that is a collection I want to leave in here. Now that being said, some of these I've had for a while and I haven't used them. So if I think it's better off in a color or a theme, I might switch them to this method. My thought process is I would love to get rid of this bin from on the shelf. It's actually a little bit too wide for the shelves, and I have a few things on my shelves that are too wide, and they stick over probably about 2 or 3 inches, maybe not even. And I'm okay with that for the most part because of the way I have them set up. But I could really use this bin. Oh no, I think I'm not. No, I could really use this bin. I could use this bin in one of my stamp calyx units. I have a single bin and my mixed media stuff there, so it would be better used to have a full bin in there than the half bin, if that makes sense. So I think rather than subject you guys to watching a whole bunch of me taping this down, what I might do is just do a few, and then I'll show you my progress partway through, and then maybe again at the end. Okay, so this is going to take me a while, but I think being able to see everything is going to help me use this quite a bit. Plus, I think what I will end up doing is take the binder that I'm going to store it in and store it right next to me here at my desk, so I don't have to get up to go pull it. If I can do that, it sounds so terrible. Like literally, it's probably 2 steps from where I'm sitting, but when you're right in the middle of the creative process, sometimes that 2 steps just seems like a mile. I don't know. Call me crazy. I'm sure some of you can relate. Anyways, that's my plan. I'll check in with you in a bit, and we'll see how I'm going. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an update on what I've done so far. Basically, all of these tins are now empty. Woohoo! Get rid of those. And I have placed them on these sheets, so you can see it's significantly less thick, which is great. I do have a binder I will put these in, but until they've got a little bit further, I think I'm just going to leave them out. So I have something for my story prompts, and I put both the chipboard as well as even stickers on here if the glue adhered to the bottom. And basically all I'm using is my ATG, because I think that's the most inexpensive adhesive I have. Plus, I can just peel it off really quickly, and if I need to take it off the backing, it usually peels off really easily as well. I do give it a good press. As you can see, not falling off, not even the chipboard. I'm doing both sides, and if I need more than one sheet, so for instance I have a lot of pink, I've got multiple sheets of that, and it works. It looks pretty great. Here's red. At least I'm liking it. Here's orange, yellow, my mint and aqua. The only thing I will say that I have noticed that I may have to deal with is sometimes these sheets snag together, and that could be because I don't have them in a binder, so like the holes are not aligned, right? So here's my plan. If this does cause a problem, what I will probably do is just insert a page protector in between. And like I said, I have a lot of page protectors. I probably have about 4 3-inch binders full of page protectors because of what I used to do with my stamps. So yeah, so if that becomes a problem where they stick, that's what I'll do, and then I shouldn't have any issues. I am intending to put a divider in between the colors so that I can easily flip to it in the book. And I'm loving this so much, you guys, I think I'm going to do the whole box. So including my collections, I'll still keep them as collections, and I'll just create another page, put the title on, and then when that collection gets down to a few items left, I'll transfer them over into the color section, and I think that's going to work really, really well. And I can just keep reusing these because, like you see, the plastic comes off really well, and so the next time I have another one that needs to fill in a spot, I can just add it and I won't have any issues. So I am absolutely thrilled with this. I've got a little bit more work to do. I have more die cuts than just what I have in the bin that I showed you earlier. I don't know if you remember my little Lazy Susan 2-tier tower. I have some die cuts in there that I think I might end up switching over. Besides the colors, I have also started some themed pages. So I have like a spring and summer, and I have fall, winter, Christmas, encouragement, travel, and I do have some labels. Now I could have done these labels under the color, and in fact I have left some under there, but sometimes I'm just looking for a label, and it would be much easier to just switch over to the label sheet and then pick one that's an appropriate color than flipping through pages of, let's say, pink, right? So I'm going to make sure that I have a representation of here, as well as some being on the individual sheets, and I'm quite happy with that. As I'm going through the die cuts, if there's ones that I don't think I will use, I'm just putting them in this little bin for now. Yeah, just for now so that I can clear them out. I do like this hello. It just, the acetate did not stick very well. That's going to be one item that I won't stick in here, and maybe what I'll do for these is get a pocket page and slide them in. My thought for stickers, so leftover stickers, we haven't discussed that yet, but as I get down to 1 or 2 items, I'll just trim them out of the page and then add them in here. Again, if the backing allows for the adhesive, I will leave it on the backing, because I don't know how super sticky this is. It probably would be fine. But why risk it if I don't need to? But like for instance, this chipboard piece, you could see, oh yeah, see this one is really stuck on. This one's not going to come off. But that's okay, I can always add adhesive afterwards. So that was my fear with removing the backing. On this particular case, the backing was that no stick and I just couldn't get it. So this is fine. I will peel this off and I will use some undo or whatever and remove that if need be. Okay, so that's the status of where it's at. I've got quite a few bins left to go, and once it's done I'll show you the binder and how I've got it set up. Okay, so I think I'm done for now. I know I have some more stuff spread out that may end up in this binder yet. So this is the binder that I'm using. I think it's, what is it, about 3-inch binder. It's something I had previously used for some other purpose, so I'm basically repurposing it. I thought about adding some sort of pattern paper or something here, and I decided I'm just going to leave it white. I will put a label. What I'm going to be doing is labeling everything in my craft room using these tags. So my thought is to add that with the description on here, and I'll just show you how I've set this up. So I don't know if you could see it this way or not. So I've added tabs, okay? When you open it up, I have my color sections for the first little bit. So I've got pink, and again, you can flip through, see exactly what you have, okay? Then red, orange, yellow, etc. I had some acetate die cuts and I didn't know what to do with them. So I've done a hybrid of things. Some of them were too big to fit in these pockets. Now, remember a while back, one of the earlier Clean With Me episodes, I had these baseball trading card sleeves and I got rid of them. So here's a little secret. I don't actually get rid of anything until I'm finished. So I take the stuff out of my craft room and I have a staging place out elsewhere where I pile everything that I think I want to get rid of, and it stays there until the very end. I think I showed you in one of the other episodes what I had purged so far, and basically it just stays there until I'm finished the project. And the reason why I do that is because I know me, and I change my mind about things. Usually not so much about like the product and stuff that I'm purging, but things like containers, organizational tools, etc. So I try not to get rid of them unless I'm absolutely sure I don't need them. So anyways, I pulled them back out. I trimmed some paper down to put in the sleeves, and then I just added these in. The ones that were too big to fit in there, I just slid them in the pocket. Yes, they're going to move around, and I'm okay with it. My other option that I thought of was to actually attach them to like a piece of paper and turn them more into a die cut, like as opposed to like an acetate kind of piece. But that was just too much work. So we're just going to live with this. I don't have a ton. So we'll just live with it, and hopefully that'll encourage me to use them up. So once you get past the rainbow colors, I've got brown, I've got black, I have white and cream, and then I have what I call my metallics, and I actually have this split between gold, silver, and other. And then I have a page started with labels, and yes, I could have intermixed this, but I think I talked about that earlier, how I don't mind if there's if everything is spread out a little bit more. The point is to use the stuff up, not worry so much about where it's stored. Then I have what I'm calling calendars and seasonal. So this is stuff that's very calendar specific or seasonal. So, you know, you get your spring, summer, fall, winter, Christmas, etc. I've got some florals. I've got travel. I have what I'm calling encouragement. These are ones that, you know, have some sort of sentiment, you know, about somebody, or find your wings and fly, embrace being you, that kind of thing. That's what I'm calling encouragement. Story prompts. So these are things that I probably wouldn't use on a normal basis, but I do have a story I want to tell about them. Like, for instance, my first, or learning to ride a bike. I've never told that story. About old telephones, maybe, you know, what we had in our house, that kind of thing, the rotary dial system. Maybe about my apartments and houses I've lived in, you know, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm calling story prompts. And then the last bits are collections. And so I've got a section of what I'm calling American Crafts. And again, I don't know if I have, I mean, American Crafts has tons of lines in there, so I don't know if I got these all straight. But this is where I'm putting things like Dear Lizzie, crepe paper, and Amy Tangerine, that kind of thing. And then I've got Kaiser Craft, Pink Paisley, which is where I've put Paige Evans, and notice here I've even put these suede ribbons, and they seem to hold really well. And that's just using the ATG tape, so I'm quite happy with that so far. I've also added clips along the top. Again, this is all part of the same collection. So I'm hoping this will work okay. Also under Pink Paisley, I have their C'est La Vie collection. So I've got that in here. Here's some of that acetate. You can see this here. I just popped in that page. There's some stickers in here. And speaking of stickers, so I think basically stickers and die cuts I kind of use in the same way. I mean, there's certain stickers I use a little bit different, like enamel dots, or like stars and hearts and that kind of thing. But everything else I kind of use in a similar manner. And so I think what I will do is I will move stickers in here if either they're part of a collection, or if I'm getting towards the end of a sticker sheet and I just want a place to store it instead of keeping it how I'm storing my stickers, which we will tackle soon. So anyways, that's Pink Paisley. Then I've got Fancy Pants. I've got Tim Holtz section with his florals. Again, I could have put this under the floral section, but it's Tim Holtz. So, you know, again, it's just how does your brain think? How do you access this kind of stuff? So, and then I've got Pink Fresh. And then last is what I'm calling Heidi Swap Mink. So all of these things here are designed to work with the mink foil and stuff like that. And so I'm hoping by keeping this all together, number one, I know specifically that this is foilable, and if it's in this binder, that it's still a reminder for me that I have these and to pull that out and use them. So that is where I think I'm going to leave it off today. Actually, this is the little container of die cuts that I'm getting rid of, not a ton. But I do have, like I said, I do have some other areas still to tackle, so we may be revisiting this at some point. But I wanted to share with you where it's currently at. I'm pretty happy with this, and like I said, I'm going to put a label on it and it'll fit on my bookshelf for now. I think I do want to place it, I haven't shown you yet, but right next to me, I have a little cube that fits under my desk, and I think this would be a great spot to put there. Maybe. We haven't sorted all of that out yet. But in any event, this is all my dies as it stands now, and I'm going to show you all the containers that I am moving out. So all of these containers, plus this one, was what these dies were stored in. So all of this is going to move out of the room. I may repurpose them, not sure. Right now I don't think I'm going to repurpose them, but you never know. So anyways, that's it for my dies, my storage, my what I'm going to try for the next little while. I hope this encourages you to tackle another area in your craft room. Perhaps you have a similar situation with your die cuts as well that you know you're struggling and maybe this gives you an idea of how it might work for you. If you have any other ideas or suggestions on how to store die cuts, leave them in the comment below. Share with everybody and maybe someone may find your tips helpful. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, happy crafting.